Join me this week as we make a fake fire for our doll fireplace. I love how this looks. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy it is to make. All right, so we have this odd assortment of things. We have a tea light, one of these little battery-operated lights. So I can turn that on. A little bit of light. I don't know if it's showing up in camera or not, but it shows up in person. We have 4 of these little wooden flower pots. I believe this is the 5/8 inch size. We have 2 of these little ball finials. These are the same type of thing we used when we made the jam. These are the smallest size I could find. We have 2 craft sticks, and we have some skinny sticks. And I have glue and pencil and ruler. And then we'll have to add some wooden branches off of a tree after we get this part started. So I'm going to start by marking, oops, I hate it when I hit my light with stuff. If the lighting is off, it's really dark in here this afternoon, so I ended up actually dragging out my lights, and my pencil is broken, but I'm going to try and make a mark. I'm marking in a 1/2 inch in from each end. Okay, I'm going to be stubborn and I'm going to do this way because I've already started over like 4 times and my son's going to be back pretty soon and I want to be done. I have some turbo tacky glue. I'm really liking this turbo. I don't know what is special about it. I'll have to look into what's different about it. I'm going to take these flower pots, and I am going to more or less center them on this line. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is going to be the feet of our little fire grate. I want to have it up so it's easy to access the on-off switch on our tea light, so I'm doing it this way. Alright, so this glue needs to dry, and when this gets dry I'll come back and we'll start putting this together. Alright, so our glue has all dried on this part, and I've marked 1/2 inch increments on both of these. Let's get this over a little bit better so you can see better. Then I have some skinny sticks, and I cut these to 2 3/4 of an inch long. The cutting dimensions and marking dimensions will all be in the blog post, and I've got 8 of them. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain it and then do it. I'm going to line these up as best I can. I'm going to line up the back one will be here at the edge, and then I want to line up the front of this one with that 1/2 inch mark. And hopefully I can do this without super glue because I can't find my super glue. Yeah. They don't have to be perfect. This is all going to be hidden when we get everything put together anyway. So if we're a little messy with our glue, it's okay on this one. There. Off to the side. Now I'm going to line these up. What we're looking for is the 1/2 inch reveal on the front and level in the back. one didn't get marked either. And the last one. And now I'm going to let this glue dry, and when that's dry we'll glue these guys on the front and we'll go to the next step. Well, our glue is almost dry, so we can move on. Now we're going to take this last skinny stick. I'm going to line up the edge. I want to cut this the same length as this dimension. And this will be a good time to mark that. So let's get that cut. We'll need that soon, but it's going to be easier to mark it now and less hassle because I don't have to actually get out my ruler. Now we have these two little ball finials. They are going to go right here. I've got plenty of glue, but I do want to get that wiped off. That is dripping. I don't want drips. And these guys are going to glue right to the front of that end piece. And then we need to let this glue dry. If it does drip, kind of wipe any drips. You don't want those there. When that's dry, then I'm going to glue this to the back side to kind of help hold the logs in. So I'm going to let the glue dry and I'll be... All right, now that our glue is set up on there, we are going to glue this hopefully straight. And yeah, I think I'll set it against that. Yeah, you guys can see. So I'm just going to put some glue right here. We want this to look like it's actually holding the wood. The wood is going to be glued in too, but get that drip. Hopefully that looks straight, and I am going to set that there. And now that needs to dry, and when that's dry, we will actually start painting this part of our project. All right, so the glue is mostly dry. It's not completely dry, but it's fine for what we're going to do now. The next step is we are going to paint. We're going to paint this with a flat black. Today I'm using black craft paint from Ceramicoat. If you've got a flat black spray paint, that would also work. And we're going to paint this portion of our tea light because we want this to blend in. We don't want to paint the bulb. If you're going to spray paint, by the way, just cover the bulb with masking tape. But it's pouring down rain right now, and I'm not going to stand out in the wet to spray paint. All right, so that will be there. And now we're going to paint. Maybe you've all seen me paint before, so I'm just going to paint this all with the flat black, and when the paint is dry, and I may do 2 coats. If it doesn't coat well, I will do a second coat. When the paint's all dry, I'll come back and we'll go to the next step. All right, so our 2 coats of paint are all dry on this, and it's all ready to go. It's actually sat for a couple of days. And what I have here are some pieces of wood. I went out and cut these out in my along my driveway. And then I brought them in the house and I put them into a 250-degree oven for about a half hour, just in case there were any little creepy crawlies inside the wood. That should hopefully kill them. So I'm going to set my light. I want my light to stay here, but it's not going to be permanently attached. I want to be able to pull the light out in case it dies, and also to start to turn the light on. So I'm going to glue my first piece of wood, and I want a kind of big one. I like that one right there, and that would be perfect. And today I'm using some Beacon 3-in-1 Advanced Craft Glue. It says it dries crystal clear, it's instant grab, and it's fast dry. I've actually been looking for this for a while. Another crafter, Lindsay from the Frugal Crafter, uses this a lot, and it took me a while to find it. And finally, my Joanne Fabrics had it the other day when I was looking for glue. It's got a screw-on, screw-off cap, which is kind of nice. So I am going to just put, yeah, you're still seeing me, just a little bit. And she she refers to this as a cold hot glue, I think is how she refers to it. That it grabs kind of like a hot glue without being the heat and without, you know, the danger of burning yourself. I don't want to have it all over everything though. It is rather stringy, like a hot glue. Hoping that's enough. Which piece did I have? I think I had this one. Is it this one? No, it was this one. Make sure I'm getting contact with at least some of that glue. I think I'm going to feed a little more glue in there. I know it's touching. And now I'm going to let this piece dry because I want this piece to be nice and solid before I start gluing other pieces around it. So I'm going to put the cap on my glue and go do something else, and when this is dry, I'll be back. Alright, so this seems to be set up really well. It's still a little loose, but I think it'll be fine. Now we're not going to, I think I said before, we're not gluing this in, so we're going to work around it. So I think our next stick will be glued, like right there. I'm going to glue this one here, so that means I am going to, I think I'm also going to run a bead of glue. Hopefully I'm not getting my head in the camera. Little dot there, a little dot in there. And then I'm going to run some here. I think this is going to dry shiny, so I don't really want it to show too much. There. Then I'm going to take my cutter and glue a piece down there. Turn this around so I can see the side. And I am going to, probably off camera, so you have to watch the whole process, I'm going to just cut more pieces to fill these areas in. And I'll get the first layer kind of done like I just did. I'm going to put probably, well, I'm going to work it back so I have this whole area here covered with little short pieces. So when I have that all done, I'll come back and we'll move to the next layer. Alright, so that glue is pretty much set up. So now it's just a matter of building up on the base that we've started. Trying to keep the glue in an area where it's not going to show, but where it will touch the wood. And I have been being very careful to wipe the top of this glue off. I'm terrified that I'm going to glue the lid onto that new bottle of glue. This is not going to, you know, cover the whole area. We're just trying to make a base here. I think, yeah, next we are going to, I think I can add another one. Be sure you don't get glue on your tea light because you don't want to glue that in. We'll put that one there. And then I'm going to let this dry, and when this is dry, we'll figure out where the next ones go. Alright, so my glue is not completely dry yet, but I think I can balance everything. I decided I want one more log right here. Put that pool there. And then I want to put this kind of big one right here because this will pretty much cover up the bulb from the front. So I'm just going to look and see, where does it touch? It touches there and there. And I kind of tried this out in my fireplace to see what I thought, and I think it's going to look really neat. All right, so now all this glue will need to dry, and then when it's dry, we're going to add some flat black paint to some areas to kind of make the wood look a little charred, and it will be finished. So when the glue dries, I'll be back. All right, so my glue is now dried. I'm going to pop this out for a second because what we need to do now is make this center area look like it's had smoke going up on it, like it's all sooty. So I've got some black craft paint. I've just got a Q-tip today. And you can put as much or as little of this as you want. It's up to you. And this won't take long to dry. I'm just going to brush some on. I'll do the back too in case it ever shows. I'm going to let this dry, and when it's dry, we are all done, and we can take a look at this in the fireplace. All right, so I've moved the camera to the floor and put the fireplace up. Ignore the stuff in the background. But here's our fireplace, our fire that we made. And what I'm going to do is hopefully turn the candle on and slide it in. I want you to be able to see how this looks. Let me turn the lights off. There, you can kind of see it. See, it glows like a real fire. That looks so cool in there. I love how this looks. I hope you enjoyed this week's project. Be sure and check the blog posts for more photos, and come back next week and see what we make then.